Hello everyone, this is Nabir Salam, also known as the Noble Player, and today I'm going to be making a video about talking about some of the movies and video games that I'm looking forward to for the rest of this year. So it felt like, for the first couple of months, we didn't get a lot of big movies or video games. We had, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, which isn't really my thing. And then we also had, for example, we had Dune Part 2, which I did see and I really enjoyed that one. But I thought about also because I just started out this channel and I want to make this platform about talking about movies and video games, two hobbies I absolutely love. And I thought about making a video about what really am I actually looking forward to of movies or games that I'm actually very curious about. Things that maybe have my interest or I'm a little hesitant, but I'm hoping that they'll be actually pretty good. And so yeah, so this is kind of where I want to start with. And at the same time, we're going to start off actually with the movies to begin with, and then we're going to start with some of the video games. I'm going to go as rapid pace as I possibly can because it doesn't seem there's a lot happening this year when it comes to both mediums at the moment, but there could be a lot of surprises down the line. Indie films, indie video games, maybe things that take you by surprise. But I'm going to go over the things that I'm most aware of coming out and things that I'm actually, that have my interest or things that I'm actually I'm actually really excited about to begin. So let's start with this video. Okay, so the first movie actually that I have on this list that I'm actually looking forward to is Deadpool and Wolverine. This is going to be like the next big movie that everyone's actually really excited for. I was actually, once upon a time, I was actually a really big fan of like superhero movies as a whole, specifically when it came to like the Marvel Cinematic Universe. We had the Infinity Saga from like the first Iron Man movie all the way to Endgame. It was a wonderful experience just to kind of watch all different superheroes come together, have their own stories, and then they all came together to fight, Thanos. But post Endgame, when it came to Phase 4 and Phase 5, it's been completely going downhill. With a couple of good things like Spider-Man No Way Home, and we had Guardians of the Galaxy 3, but other than that, like, the whole narrative they're trying to make with the whole multiverse thing and the idea about trying to push like very niche characters that aren't really all that appealing, it did not work. It kind of fell on their face. I know that they want Deadpool 3, this one, to actually be a major success. There's a lot of things that are going into this, honestly. I mean, it is, to be fair, it's a Deadpool movie with Ryan Reynolds. I'm quite a big fan of actually the first two Deadpool films. And they're all talking a lot about how this film could actually change the whole Marvel Cinematic Universe timeline. That is yet to be seen. I'll be very curious how that's going to turn out. But I'm going to be, mildly, keeping my expectations in check. But I am very much looking forward to that movie, absolutely for sure. So the next movie I have on the list here is actually The Fall Guy. It's with Ryan Gosling. It's a new action comedy. I don't know too much about this film, but I'm kind of glad I don't, because usually what it is like if you just sell me on an action comedy, I'm always going to be very interested to check it out. Especially coming from the director, he made the first John Wick movie, and then he went on to do other films like, Atomic Blonde, and he did Bullet Train as well. So this one I'm going to be very interested in because, with Ryan Gosling, I actually like him as an actor. I think it's really good that he's starting to get more into like different genres instead of just being in dramas. I love The Nice Guys. He was, great in Crazy Stupid Love. I didn't like the Boy movie at all, but he was the best part about it. So for him to do something like this would actually be really interesting and exciting at the same time. The next one I have on the list is Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. This is a movie that it's interesting because I really love the original films, the Planet of the Apes films in the 1960s. But I loved the Caesar trilogy. It was like the prequel to the original 1968 film, actually, before that took place. So after the Caesar trilogy ended, I thought they should have ended afterwards. And I didn't know how you were able to continue that story, especially because that Caesar trilogy was so beautifully told. But now we're going to start getting into his son, Coriolanus, who is going to learn to become the leader that he ends up becoming from the 1968 original film. I'll be interested to see what kind of story they can tell out of this one. Especially also is that the director of the film, he's going to be doing the upcoming live action adaptation of The Legend of Zelda. So that alone has to pique my interest in terms of like, what is he going to do? What kind of style is he going to bring that makes him actually worthy to direct a live action adaptation of an amazing video game series? The other movie also coming up as well is Ghostbusters Frozen Empire. That one's also interesting as well because we had the first two Ghostbusters films in the 1980s. We had the first one, which was incredible, and then we had also the second film, which I enjoy, but it's not as good as the first one in my opinion. We didn't have another Ghostbusters movie for a long time until we got that Abomination with that remake with the female cast. But then we got Ghostbusters Afterlife, which I thought was actually a really great continuation of the first two films, and also had a lot of really great fan service that ties stories all together. Very fun and very sweet movie that it was. So I didn't know when we have Frozen Empire, I don't know how you can follow that up with the way Afterlife had concluded in that case. But if you're gonna continue this franchise, you might as well actually take the new cast and pair them up with the original characters from the first two movies and have them all come together actually to fight one common evil. So that one also will be very interesting to see how that one turns out. We also gonna have actually a third Sonic the Hedgehog film coming out. Should be in December, I believe. I've quite enjoyed. I mean, I like Sonic the Hedgehog as a character. I've quite enjoyed the video games, especially the 2D ones back in the day. And I like how these movies have kind of reinvented him as a character. Especially since these are just really fun, like family movies with a lot of really great fan service throughout. This third one's gonna have Shadow the Hedgehog, actually, and that will be I think he'll be a great addition into the series. I love what they have done with Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, and Dr. Robotnik, actually, within the movies. So I'm hoping they will really nail Shadow the Hedgehog for this one. And yeah, hopefully that one will be really good. Another one also coming on the list actually is one that I don't know if this is really gonna work out, honestly, and that is Joker 2. Folie à Deux, I think is how you pronounce it. I must apologize if I butcher that. But the first Joker film was actually brilliant. I didn't think we needed the Joker origin story, to be honest, until when they first started showing up the trailers, and then when it came out, when it was in 2019, I believe. Really, really remarkable, one-of-a-kind movie. It wasn't really much of a superhero film. It just took a comic book character and spun the whole genre on its own head by making it like an actual gritty crime thriller, a la Taxi Driver. Really loved the story. It was obviously a very successful film. They wanted to make a sequel to it, and that one is kind of interesting because it's like I don't know how you can actually follow that up with the original movie, let alone you're gonna turn it into a musical with Lady Gaga as Harley Quinn. That's just kind of weird. But, the director of the first film, Todd Phillips, is coming back for this one. If that is the case, he has more than likely a reason why he wanted to tell the story in the first place. Hopefully it'll be good. This is one of those movies I'm just like, I don't know if I'm not really that excited about it, but hopefully it will be good just because I'm a huge fan of the first Joker film. And then one more movie I also want to mention, which is kind of interesting, is I just looked up on the list. There's going to be a second Beetlejuice movie. So we're going to have Tim Burton coming back to direct it. We're going to have, Michael Keaton come back. We're going to have now Jenna Ortega coming into this franchise. It'll be interesting because I like the first Beetlejuice movie back in the day. But I'm a huge fan specifically of Tim Burton from the 80s and the 90s. I mean, his movies were like one of a kind, incredible. I mean, Edward Scissorhands is sensational. But he has not made a good movie, in my opinion, over the last 10 years. It's kind of been a parody of himself. I'm hoping this will be like a really good return to form for him. It should be because it's in his comfort wheel, I assume. But hopefully, like I said, I hope this will be like a really good film. It's interesting that it's actually coming out more so than I actually have to go see a sequel to Beetlejuice. But we'll see how that one turns out as well. Okay, so now that we finished now with the movies, now I'm going to go through some of the video games I'm looking forward to. It doesn't seem as packed as it was last year, because last year we got a lot of new indie titles. We got a lot of new sequels, new IPs that were coming through. This year seems a bit more quiet. However, there are a few games that I looked into and I said, these are the ones that are piquing my interest right now, especially for someone who's just a little bit busy right now with so many things going on. But these are the games where I'm like, these are the games I want to play actually as soon as possible. So let's start off in the beginning with Dragon's Dogma 2. This game is coming out this week. I never played a Dragon's Dogma game. I hear everyone tells me that it's a great open world RPG fantasy game. And so this sequel got really heavily hyped. And the reason why I'm actually looking forward to this, or I'm interested in it, is because it's Capcom. Capcom, who's been like one of my favorite video game developers as of late, you know, reinventing Resident Evil, Devil May Cry, and Monster Hunter. You know, now they're getting into a sequel that people really like within, you know, the first Dragon's Dogma. And I'm hoping that this will be really good. Maybe this is the one that will like really hook me into the franchise. So there is that one. The other one I have... The other game that I actually have on the list actually is Stellar Blade. This is a new game coming exclusively for the PS5. It's made by a Japanese company called Shift Up. I didn't really take too much notice into this one until I actually watched the most recent video they put out. And it reminds me a lot of like games that I really love, like Nier Automata and Bayonetta, at least the first two Bayonetta games. The third one wasn't really good in my opinion, but I really like the whole, like the idea of like they're making it a hack and slash, you know, frantic action set pieces. I'm hoping like the world they create and the characters they have will be really compelling and a really exciting like science fiction single player adventure game. So I am keeping that one on my radar. And the next one I have as well is this game called No Rest for the Wicked. This is a new game from a studio called, from a company named Moon Studios. They're an indie studio that made the two Ori games, Ori in the Blind Forest and Ori in the Will of the Wisps. I absolutely adore both of those games. They're amazing Metroidvania games with a sense of style and personality. And this is, I believe, the first game they're making, which is the first RPG I think that they're making. So that will be very interesting. It is coming out next month, and I do hope we get to see some more information about it. But that's another game that's also on my radar, just because I'm a big fan of this studio. And the other games that are coming out as well. So if you want to know something about me, I'm a huge fan of Nintendo. I mean, I love Nintendo, specifically with the Nintendo Switch. But we don't have a lot of games coming out on that system yet as of right now. We have Princess Peach Showtime coming out this week, which I'm not too excited for, honestly. I don't think I'm going to rush out to play it. I did a demo for it, by the way. I have it on my channel if you would like to check that out. But we have two games here. The first one being Paper Mario, The Thousand Year Door. This is a remake from the GameCube coming over to the Nintendo Switch. I never played the original because I skipped on the GameCube generation. I did play a little bit on emulation, but I never beaten the whole game. So the fact that it's coming into is being remade now for a modern, more successful platform, that gets me very excited to check it out. I love Mario. He's my favorite video game character of all time. And so I'm going to always play any of his games, whether for good or for bad. And I hope this will be a really worthy remake and worth the hype. And the other one coming is Luigi's Mansion 2, which is weird because I love the trilogy. The second game is the weakest, actually, in my opinion. So it's kind of interesting that they want to remake that one for the Nintendo Switch. The only thing that I can see maybe that could maybe be worth it is if one, they add the multiplayer, the Skyscraper. They may fix some of the game in some ways, or the gameplay, to make it a bit better. And also, because this game is coming out, the second one, I'm hoping the first Luigi's Mansion gets ported or remade for the Nintendo Switch as well, because I do want to have the entire Luigi Mansion trilogy on one single system. That would be actually really fantastic to own. Then that's pretty much it so far, actually. These are the games I'm actually looking forward to right now, or the ones that have piqued my interest. Yeah, and that's kind of how it is. I hope we're going to see a lot of really cool surprise, whether it's like indie films, indie video games. I just hope for a lot of things to just take me by surprise, and hopefully we'll have a really great year when it comes to movies and video games. And in that case, I would like to know in the comment section below, what do you guys think about this list? Is there something that I missed? Is there something that you're looking forward to that maybe I was not aware of beforehand? Please tell me in the comment section below. And if you like videos like this, I talk about movies, video games, I like to make reviews. I'm going to learn how to live stream video games. Please, if you can, please like the video. Please, if you want to see more videos like that, you can also subscribe to the channel as well. And until then, I'll see you guys on the next video. See ya.